Greetings, everyone. Thank you for your wonderful messages. I hope you can hear me okay. Welcome to the first Journey Songs, and it's going to be the beginning of what I hope will be a long road, and I hope you'll join me on that road going forward, because obviously there are going to be songs that I'm going to talk about and perform that you'll know, and there's going to be a lot that you don't know so well, and some you won't know at all. But actually, the ones that you don't know so well, or possibly don't know at all, have some of the most interesting stories behind them. So I hope you'll stay with me because I see this going on for quite a while. Although each episode is only going to be about 15, 20 minutes usually. This one's going to be longer because there's more to talk about and more to explain. And obviously, it's the first one, so I'm getting used to the whole system here. I see all your messages coming in, and it's lovely to see. Hi, Tracy. Nice to hear from you. Um, I don't know how to pronounce that name, but it's a lovely name. Thank you very much for all your wishes. Thank you, Adele, for the happy birthday. Who do we have here? Larissa. Happy birthday, Clark. Much peace, health, and love. May this day be repeated for many years to come. Thank you. That's a lovely thought. So, we'll see some more messages soon. So, the basic idea of this, as I think you know already from what I've posted on social media already, is that I talk about one song per episode, and I give you a bit of backstory as to how I wrote the song, what was going on in my life at the time. And in so doing, hopefully you'll get to know me a little bit better, because a lot of people message me saying we don't actually know that much about you, because I became a bit of an enigma, shall we say, for some years. So this is a way to say hi. This is who I am. Now, here's a question: where am I? Because this is not just any old room. My mom is 93, and I've decided to move back in with her for a while to help look after her. And that meant that I had to decide what I was going to do in terms of a studio. I was set up elsewhere, and I decided to set up a studio situation in her home, which is the home that I grew up in, my childhood home. And I've actually set up in the room where I used to have my studio set up as a teenager. So this is the room where I wrote Shattered Dreams, I Don't Want to Be a Hero, Turn Back the Clock, etc. It all happened here. So there's a bit of a vibe in this room, but that's also why it might not look immediately like a typical studio. But it's great to be back here, and I think I'm picking up on the vibes already. So, as I said, I'm going to talk about one song per episode. The song I'm going to talk about today is Turn Back the Clock. Timely, because as everyone is very kindly wishing me happy birthday. Yes, it is my birthday, so I thought it would be an appropriate song to do. And as I said, I hope you'll stay with me, because there's going to be another Journey Songs next Saturday, and on and on. So let's see what people are saying here, because we've got some lovely messages, I think. We've got happy birthday, my friend. Hi from Iceland. Yes, hello, mate. How are you? Nice to hear from you. We've got Satsuko. Maybe it's better this way. Ah, that's interesting. You noticed the piece of music with the credits at the beginning. Hi, Satsuko. It must be late for you. Very late for you. And who else have we got here? Myra. Hi, Clark. Hi, Myra. How you doing? I'm sorry I'm not getting a chance to say hello to everyone, because there's just so many of you saying hi. Sylvia, greetings from Holland. Goeiedag. Lovely to hear from you. Thank you very much. And what have we got here? Carol Thomas, 21 again. Yes, up thereabouts. Looking forward to the backstory of these songs. Cool. Well, that's the whole point of it. And what have we got here? We've got Bevan. Happy birthday, love from India. Thank you, Bevan. Lovely to hear from you. Actually, it's probably quite late for you as well, so thanks for staying up. I really appreciate that. Josh, how you doing, Josh? Nice to hear from you. Hello from Davenport, Iowa. Nice to hear from you, Josh. We've communicated in the past. We've got Jerome. Bonjour, Jerome. How you doing? Someone who's interviewed me in the past. Jerome from France. My goodness, Roz. Looking forward to hearing some of the tracks live soon. Yes, Roz. Roz, who's very involved in Johnny Hates Jazz's social media. Um, so good that you're with us, Roz. What have we got here? We've got David. Lots of love and happy birthday wishes to you from Chicago. Cool. Big fan since the beginning. David, thanks very much for joining us from Chicago. That's wonderful. And Zena Jones, hi from Birmingham. Hello, Zena. Not so late for you. So, on and on we go. Well, where to start with Turn Back the Clock? Well, let's go back to when I was a young lad. There I am. And there you see me in my West Ham kit. That's a British English football club, West Ham United. I'm sure I'm going to get some groans from people about the teams they support and I support. But as a young lad, I was a very imaginative kid, and I was very into nature, and I was into football as well, and obviously into music. What was something that I developed as time went by is that I looked forward to being older. This is the weird thing about writing a song called Turn Back the Clock when I was 22 when I wrote it. Because, in some ways you would think that was a song written by someone who was maybe in their 40s or 50s as I am now. But I always wanted to be older. I didn't actually much like being young. I wanted to, I think, just be a better version of myself, and I felt that that was going to take time. So in that sense, I was always looking ahead, and perhaps I was not as present as I could have been. But the offshoot of that is that I think that I wrote Turn Back the Clock by imagining myself when I was older and how I would feel about life back then, if that makes sense. But that was my imagination at work. And that kind of manifested in some ways, or reflected back to me, when I read a book called Different Seasons by Stephen King. And I know that's the name of another Johnny Hates Jazz song, but Different Seasons is 4 novellas, 4 short stories. And one of the stories is called The Body. And The Body is a coming of age story. It's not Stephen King has his horror stuff, but he actually writes more just human story stuff, life experience stuff, like The Body and Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile. And of course, The Body became a film called Stand By Me. And what I loved about the story was that it was really about a guy who was older reminiscing about this adventure he had with his friends, which turned out to be a very challenging and cathartic, healing experience. But there was a lot of melancholy to it. And it's really his reflections on his childhood, their childhood, and it wasn't by any means perfect. And I think that was an important thing to reflect upon, and it still is, because although Turn Back the Clock is a song which celebrates the past, there's no doubt for some of us we had good moments in our childhood, great moments, and other times we had difficult moments. That's the same for all of us, and some people had very challenging childhoods. So I'm very aware of that when sometimes people write to me and they make that comment. And I had someone write to me recently actually about Turn Back the Clock, saying that they had a difficult childhood, but they gave a really lovely reflection, and that was that they like who they are now, and they've realized that all of those experiences have made them who they are now. And it's not that they would have necessarily wished to repeat them, but nevertheless they acknowledge that that was the journey they had, and they're at peace with themselves. And that's really how I now look at Turn Back the Clock, because in some ways I needed to go through my own process to become the person that I am now. And I'm at peace with who I am now. And this is the best version of me ever, actually. I'm not talking physically, I'm talking about, you know, spiritually and psychologically. And so it's lovely to be able to look back at a time and say to ourselves, all of us, that that's the journey we had. And it's led us to this point. And that in itself is quite incredible because let's face it, when our lives come to an end, the only thing we're going to have left is our life experience, the life experience that we had. So that's pretty precious, I think. So, turn back the clock means more to me now than it did then. I thought it meant a lot to me then, but no, it means a lot more to me now. Um, so, I wrote the song and did a demo, a demonstration, which is a very simple recording of a song. And I took it up to Rack Studios in London, which is where Johnny Hates Jazz was based, and we were recording the beginning of the Turn Back the Clock album. And Turn Back the Clock was actually, I think it was the fifth song I wrote for the album. I'd already written Shattered Dreams, Don't Say It's Love, I Don't Want to Be a Hero, and Different Seasons with Calvin. And I remember pulling up pretty much where the taxi is there. And I think I played it to Mike first before I played it to Calvin. I played it to Mike in my car. And I'd wanted it to be a kind of a song that had a vibe like Missing You, John Waite. And also a kind of a Michael McDonald vibe. And whether it turned out like that or not, I don't know. I think it became its own thing because, of course, you know, as much as I was writing the songs, Mike and Calvin were producing and doing a wonderful job, and that combination of the three of us created that sound. So it became its own thing, despite my original intention. And yeah, so that's where it all happened. Now, if you look at that photograph of Rack Studios there, in the bottom three windows on the left is Studio 2, and that's where we did most of our work, and then the bottom three studios on the right is Studio 1, where we did some of our work, but that was home. So yeah, that's kind of how Turn Back the Clock came to be. And of course, if I can take you back to Stand By Me, when it came to do the video of Turn Back the Clock, we were inspired by that movie, and I think for any of you who have seen it, hopefully you will you'll get that. There's we play who we were then, but there's three kids who are playing us, an imaginary us in an imaginary past. But it's shot in upstate New York. It was a really lovely experience. So let's just catch up with everyone here. We've got, oh my goodness, this is a that's Fatima. Oh, hello, Fatima. How you doing? It definitely stands out as its own thing. Thank you. Yeah. Well, it's kind of what we wanted to do here. We've got Marion. I love that song. Thank you so much. Thank you. And like I say, it's come to mean a lot more to me now as a slightly older guy. We've got Christian here. Happy birthday, Clark. Greetings here in Manila, Philippines. It's late for you as well. Thanks for staying up, and thank you for your good wishes. I appreciate that. We've got Sue Mateus. Sue, I think I've heard from you before. So interesting. I'm glad I purposely chose that message just so that everyone knows that someone's finding this interesting. Michelle, great to hear the story and that you're back at home with your mum. Yeah, it is good, Michelle. I know more and more of us are doing that as we get older, caring for our parents, if we're fortunate enough to be able to do that. So, yeah, I agree. What we got? Adele. Oh, yeah, I see now. Going to have to watch the video again now. Yes. Yeah, it is a bit like that, isn't it? We've got Multi Retro Man. That's a heck of a name. Hi, I love your music and have done so since your first release in the 80s. I've got to go out soon and get our Chinese, but want to thank you for your music. That's cool. Thank you for checking in. I appreciate that. Now, here's a name I don't know how to pronounce. Skanoza? I hope that's correct. Happy birthday, Clark. Did you know you share your birthday with Robert Frost? I didn't know that, Skanoza. With Robert Frost, one of your favourite poets, one of my favourite too. Well, that's very interesting because there is a song that I wrote many years later inspired by Robert Frost's poem, The Road Not Taken. And of course, the song is called The Road Not Taken. So I'm a big fan. And I think about The Road Not Taken was on a solo album of mine called Tomorrow and then re-recorded with Mike for the Magnetized album. And I always heard it as being kind of the modern day version of Turn Back the Clock. So it's kind of interesting you mentioned that. Everyone, thank you so much for your messages here. Jeepers Creepers, that's the name of the person messaging me. The song and video took me back to my youth and captures the time well. Always makes me reflect on the past. That's lovely. Thank you. It's a beautiful message. Kip Lehman, I hope I've pronounced that right. Kip, happy birthday, Clark from Westminster, Colorado. How you doing? Your music from the late 80s was a large part of the soundtrack of my life. Cheers. Thank you so much, Kip. As some of you may know, I lived in the US for 10 years, so a lot of these are very meaningful. So thank you very much for all these wonderful messages. I think it's time I actually had some water because this talk has made me thirsty. So hang on. Hope you like the candles. Yeah, it's a good vibe. It's interesting because it's 5 o'clock here in the UK, so it's beginning to get dark. I don't know what the light's going to do in here. That was professional, wasn't it? Okay, so this is in honor of all of our childhoods and the fact that they have made us who we are now. Let's be at peace with ourselves, love ourselves, be proud of ourselves because we've made it this far. So I think it's time for a song. Before I do that, I need to be extremely professional here and turn on a bit of reverb. So I started playing The Road Not Taken. Someone put that in my mind. I told you I thought it was kind of the modern day Turn Back the Clock, but we want this one, of course. Another day has ended and I still can't sleep, remembering my yesterdays. I begin to weep. If I could have it over, live my life again, I wouldn't change a single day. I wish that I could turn back the clock, bring the wheels of time to a stop, back to the days when life was so much better. Yeah. Laying here in silence, picture in my hand of a boy I still resemble, but I no longer understand. And as the tears run freely, oh, how I realize they were the best years of my Sing with me. I wish that I could turn back the clock, bring the wheels of time to a stop, back to the days when life was so much better. You might say it's just a case of giving up. Oh no, but without these memories, where is the love? Say, where is the love? If I could have it over, live my life again, oh, I wouldn't change a single day. I wish that I could turn back the clock, bring the wheels of time to a stop, back to the days when life was so much better. Why can't I turn back the clock, bring the wheels of time to a stop, back to the days, oh no, no. I remember when life was so good, life was so good, life was so good, life was so good. Hey, there we go. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed that. It was good to sing. I should explain, actually, just something about me which I often talk to Mike about. And that is that, well, I say it and Mike nods profusely, because he agrees with me on this. I'm a songwriter who sings. So I view my strength as songwriting and my second strength as singing. There's a lot of people today who are singers who songwrite. In other words, they're incredible singers, but songwriting is definitely their second skill, and they tend to co-write a lot with professional writers as a result. But yes, I'm a songwriter who sings, so that's why Journey Songs is very much about, although I love singing and I hope I convey my songs well through my voice, it's very much about me as a songwriter here. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm still getting some fantastic messages here. I should say, actually, I've got Carly Cawthon. Did I pronounce your last name right, Carly? We've spoken before. Beautiful will always be my favorite JHJ song. That's lovely. I've got Louise here. Absolutely beautiful, Clark. Your mum must be so very proud of you, especially today on your birthday. I hope so. I think she's asleep, actually, but maybe she's watching this. What we've got here, Anton Rodionov, I hope that's correct as well. Brilliant performance, one of my 80s favorites. Thank you very much. Greetings from Russia. Hey, thank you for tuning in. A few people from Russia are actually tuning in, I've noticed, which is wonderful. So I hope I haven't missed out anyone. I'm going to go back to the top to just check that I've missed out a lot of people. I'm terribly sorry about that. So let's just talk about a couple things here. And this is important. I am doing this at 5 o'clock, obviously UK time, and I appreciate that that has ramifications for different people around the world. So the next Journey Songs will be 5 o'clock on Saturday, but I would also like to invite you to leave a comment below after this and tell me what time actually works best for you. And I'm going to have to kind of figure out then, you know, a good time, which will include people, especially in Asia and Oceania, because I know it's the middle of the night, it's the middle of the morning for you, early morning, and it's, you know, not easy to tune in at this time. So I'm thinking about this. Is 5 o'clock on Saturday good for everyone? 5 o'clock UK time? Would it be better to do it, maybe 10 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, so everyone in Asia and Oceania can see this, and 7 o'clock in the evening UK time on a Sunday? I'm picking Sunday because obviously a lot of us are at home. And I'm taking into consideration that the terrible pandemic, will come to an end and we'll be back out and about during the week. Another time I'm thinking of is 7 o'clock on a Thursday evening. Now, I might just stick to Saturday, but give me your thoughts on all of this, because I want to try and make this as accessible as possible to everyone. Likewise, if you have any questions for me that I'm not answering now, then please leave a question as a comment below after this, and if I can, I'll answer it next week on Journey Songs. Actually, Annie Elizabeth asked me a question earlier. I noticed, what's my favorite childhood memory? And I have quite a few. But one thing that I think we all excel in as kids is that we are full of imagination. We're very much in touch with our imagination. We are very connected to nature. We're very in tune with existence and very natural in that way. And my favorite memories are when I was most imaginative, and especially out in nature. I remember as a kid, my parents took me to Wales, which is a beautiful part of Britain, and a nation in its own right. And we went to different castles there. We went to beaches, climbed hills and mountains, and I just loved this connection that I feel when I'm with the land, with the beings who live there, the animal beings, the plant beings, and the rivers, the lakes, the wind and the rain in Wales sometimes, as with everywhere here, but also history. And I find that I go to the land before I write songs, because the people who were from that land somehow speak to me, not in words, but I feel their presence, and I feel a sense of a message there, and I have to translate what that means. But I remember that journey to Wales very fondly. So Annie, that's one of my favourite memories. So let me just mention one other thing before I talk about next week's Journey Songs. There's a picture behind me, and I'll show you this soon, of a band on the piano there, and that's my dad's band, the Polka Dots. He was in two bands, the Stargazers and the Polka Dots, both very successful. So I'll talk more, but I like having my dad, who passed away in 1998. I like having him somehow present with me as I'm working, because he was so supportive of me as a young musician. So, Dad, I hope you approve of what I'm doing here. Okay, everyone, I haven't the faintest idea what time it is actually, because I usually wear glasses when I'm working. I've got contact lenses in now, and they're not that great. So, next week, 5 o'clock UK time on a Saturday, and I'm going to be talking about a song where I'll give you a hint now what it is. So, I'm not going to wait for an answer here, because I'm actually 20 seconds ahead of you. I'm actually in the future. There's a 20-second delay, certainly with Facebook. So I am actually in your future. I've traveled forward in time, and I might be affecting the space-time continuum. I don't know. We'll soon find out. So that is Don't Say It's Love, another song from Turn Back the Clock. I'm going to have guests on sometimes, doing interviews with them, and I'm going to ask Mike to be my first guest, of course, so hopefully he'll drop in for Don't Say It's Love, but we'll have a chat in the week. So I hope you've enjoyed this, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. I'll do one more chorus of Turn Back the Clock. Sing along with me, okay? and then it'll be adios. I wish that I could turn back the clock, bring the wheels of time to a stop, back to the days when life was so much better. Why can't I turn back the clock, bring the wheels of time to a stop, back to the days, oh no, no, I remember when life was so good. I've noticed a message here. Primavera Groove. Paz, thank you for tuning in from Chile. Thank you for your happy birthday messages. Mark, thank you for your happy birthday messages. I'm sorry I'm missing so many people out. I mean, I'm getting an awful lot of messages, and I really appreciate it, so thank you. Let me just scoot down, because I'm missing too many people out. Let's see, we've got Tracy Thatcher. I'm swaying, good. We've got Gillian Doherty. Beautiful, thank you. You're very welcome, Gillian. And we've got Carolina Vanada. Thank you for this moment. Love from Portugal. Hello to you from tuning in from Portugal. Thank you so much. Veronica Ricky Wu. Hello from Malaysia. Hello again. Someone staying up very late to watch from Asia. So thank you so much. Jane, you say, that was fantastic. Thank you for spending time with us. Thank you for spending time with me. I mean, this is the idea of Journey Songs, that although I can't hear you, unfortunately, hopefully you can still make an effort to message me and hope that I'll answer. Sue, thank you, Clark. Happy birthday. Thank you so much, Sue. And we've got Pressy Delmo. I hope I pronounced that right, Pressy. Lovely. To you too, thank you so much. And I could go on and on. What are we doing? Oh, it was what I thought it was going to be, half an hour. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. It's time to say adios, and I hope you've had an enjoyable time with me. I'm going to go upstairs, have a cup of tea, and have some cake. I think I've heard cake, don't you? Once again, thank you. I would quickly say hello, Mandy Farmery. Mandy supported Johnny Hates Jazz backstage on occasions. Thank you, Mandy, for your good wishes. And I could go on. Sonia, thank you for this. I always think songs can tell stories are ones that touch your soul the most. I agree with you, Sonia, and that is what Journey Songs is all about, because I'm glad it touches your soul, your spirit, your heart. They touch me in the process of writing them. I'm kind of a believer that songs are out there in the ether, and it's up to the poets and the songwriters and the writers to hear them and to translate them in the way we listen to music and read poetry and read books now. So thank you. Good comment. I think Choose 80s, I think I already said hello to you. I hope I did to both of you. Thank you for your support again. Alan Wong, it's wonderful. Clark, greetings from Hong Kong. Hello, Alan. Again, a late one. Thank you so much. I cannot pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. Maybe you can write it in a way where I will understand it, because it's obviously a different alphabet. But you did a wonderful birthday video for me this morning, which you posted on Facebook. Thank you so much for that. It was lovely. You're very welcome for saying thank you. Thanks so much. And what have we got? Project Rebuilds. Happy birthday, Clark. Turn Back the Clock helped me through times of war in Iraq in the 1980s. I'm 51 now and living in New Jersey. Ahmed Altai. I hope I pronounced that right, Ahmed. That is a beautiful message. Thank you, Ahmed. That is so meaningful, because This is what I was saying about the varying experiences we have. And well done for surviving yours. And that's such a beautiful message. Thank you so much. So, I think we've come to the end of our time here. So, thanks for joining me. I've realised I've left my reverb on. That's why it all suddenly sounds a bit echoey. Not very professional. Next time I'll be more on the case. So I'm seeing more. I've got to just quickly. Steve Joyce. Hello, Steve. Are you available for piano lessons, please, as my wife Ezra is terrible? I'm not sure I'm the greatest pianist, to be honest. There are plenty of better piano players out there, but thanks, Steve. Polly says, enjoy the cake. Thank you, Polly. I will. It's lemon drizzle, one of my favourite. So I kind of feel there's something that I'm missing that I wanted to say to you all, and I can't remember what it is. Okay, next Saturday, 5 o'clock UK time, I hope you'll join me again. Don't say it's love, it's a good one. And this is just the beginning of a long journey, which is going to go places I think maybe you'll be surprised about. So, good night, everyone. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next week. All right, take care. Adios.